Few things in this wasteland are as impressive as the T-45d power armor. While it may be one of the weakest sets of powered combat infantry armor, it is still an engineering masterpiece far stronger than most armors forged in the wastes of the old world. Join me in today's broadcast as we explore the history of the very first power armor ever created.
There are tales littered all across the wastelands of the old world. Within these tales are secrets, knowledge, and legends waiting to be told. I've traversed the boneyards of once great cities to collect these chronicles of post-apocalyptia. Some of these stories are beyond logical reasoning. Are these just radiation-poisoned brains conjuring up these myths, or is there some truth to be found in them? Only you can decide, as we step into the haze of Wastelord's legends.
During the Sino-American War, America was facing heavy casualties and needed a far more mobile mode of transporting troops and their heavy equipment, so they contracted the leading company in weapon development, Westech. Westech immediately began working on a revolutionary concept, power armor. This idea was put in development in August 2065 and was deployed 2 years later in 2067. The first model of this new concept was deemed the T-45d. It was a marvel of ingenuity, and it revolutionized American warfare, and unbeknownst to its creators, it would also be a staple of wasteland militias and lucky scavengers. While the short timeline of this model's design may have been a huge help to soldiers on the front line, it came with a price. Because the armor was the first of its kind, it unfortunately had some flaws that plagued it, such as being less mobile than later models, weaker resistance to physical and energy attacks, and a weak point just below the chest weld in the stomach area. While there are a few flaws in this suit, it's still an excellent choice for protection in the wasteland. It may be easy to cast this armor down due to its flaws, but looking at them closer, it becomes clear that these are only minor issues. The first being the lacking mobility. While it is less mobile than other suits, it's still perfectly mobile for users with training, and it isn't just a slow, immovable tank. When it comes to the weaker resistances, these are only compared to other sets of power armor that came after years of testing, and it is still amazing protection in the wasteland. The last weakness of this armor that also carried over to the T-60 model was the weak point under the chest weld. This may seem like a huge deal, however it appears as only high armor piercing rounds will be able to do the trick. Not only that, but one would also have to have the knowledge of this flaw, which is most likely how the NCR was able to take over Helios 1 from the Brotherhood, as after the battle the NCR was able to salvage the T-45 suits, and the remaining Brotherhood survivors were left using the far superior T-51B, which doesn't have this weak point. Moving on to the strengths and benefits of the T-45D, there are many features that make this suit special. Firstly, as with all sets of power armor, it has a hydraulic frame that gives the user incredible strength, oxygen tanks, and protection from falls of very high magnitudes. Another benefit of power armor is the ability for the user to carry heavy weapons without a squad, essentially allowing them to be a one-man army. The helmet of the armor features a targeting system, rangefinder, a headlight, a ballistic glass visor, a voice modulator, comms system, and an air filter. While there is less information on the T-45 when compared to the T-51, I have located a Brotherhood schematic showing what the armor features. From this, we can see that the armor features a titanium armor plating, a heat shield, radiation scrubbers, a Pip-Boy HUD integration, and in the stomach area there is a flexible armor reinforced with kinetic dampeners. After serving for an impressive 9 years, the suit was beginning to be phased out for the new T-51B, as China had become effective at stopping the T-45. The armor would now be used on American soil, such as for the Coast Guard and law enforcement, and an original suit was even going to be displayed in the Museum of History by 2078. However, by 2077, none of these models of power armor had succeeded in defending the United States, as the wars for which they were created for consumed all and brought a new age to history, the post-war. In this new chapter of humankind's tale, this armor found its calling as the protection, strength, and radiation scrubbers became a vital key in wasteland survival. Those lucky enough to find and operate this suit became nearly unstoppable when compared to the roaches and raiders of post-apocalyptia. Primarily worn by the Brotherhood of Steel, This suit has saved many lives carrying out the will of the Brotherhood. During the NCR Brotherhood War, the new California Republic became effective at taking out the suits, much like the Chinese 200 years earlier, and were actually able to salvage the sets. However, due to the NCR lacking knowledge of operating them, the suits were gutted of their servo motors, making them available for anyone to wear, with the cost of mobility and speed. They also removed the pauldrons to identify friendlies. A much more effective variant of this power armor, only seen being worn by the Lone Wanderer at one point in his journey, was the MP-47A prototype medic power armor. This armor has a drill sergeant voice system and injects the user with medics when they get injured, keeping the user in the fight. While the T-45d certainly isn't the best suit of power armor out there in the Wasteland, it sure is an amazing piece of equipment that many Wasteland legends have used before. So next time you see a Brotherhood soldier in one, be sure to look at it with respect. Because after all, it was made for war over 200 years ago. And unlike NCR taxes, war never changes. Thank you all for watching this broadcast. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe, as I will be going over every Power Armor's lore in the Fallout universe. And with all that out of the way, thank you channel members, and may the Wasteland treat you with peace and prosperity.